Please come out of your room, Dev. Whatever happened today was not your fault. Those people were heartless and out of their minds. Please don't let it affect you. You don't get it, Luna. You have never been singled out and targeted just because your biological parents left you. I know, and I am sorry that this is happening to you, little brother. But please, don't pay attention to those words. We are your family. Nobody else has the right to say anything different. You keep on saying this, but why don't they understand? Because they are mindless creatures who do not understand that heartfelt relations are not less than blood relations. They matter as well. Tell them that you have a dad, a mom, and a sister who are proud of you, regardless of anything. I am so tired of this, Luna. Even when you stand up for me, they continue pestering me after you are gone. Aren't I supposed to feel comfortable with my family? Am I somehow hurting them just because my adoptive parents chose me? Have you complained to the teachers? I will talk to the principal tomorrow. This is a serious concern. Would it even matter? Why do you say so? The principal is well aware of my situation. He saw me getting pushed around in the hallway, but turned a blind eye. Why didn't you speak to Dad? I fear disappointing him. He might think of me as a useless kid who could not even defend himself. Has Dad ever done something that made you feel like that? No, not really. Then stop overthinking and talk to him tonight. But first, get out of your room and have dinner with me. I miss my little brother. I am an adopted child of the Ray family. Luna is their only biological child. My parents found me in an abandoned shed when I was just an infant. They raised me ever since, and a few years ago, they legally adopted me. When I walked into the kitchen, Luna hugged me and told me that everything will get better soon. Adopted kids have the same right as biological ones, and nobody can harm me because my family will protect me. I sighed and wondered how that would happen in an instant, but I trusted my sister on her words. Mom and Dad entered the house as soon as we were done with our dinner and asked how our day was. Dad saw me upset and realized what must have happened, because it was not the first time we had to deal with something like this. After freshening up, my dad knocked on my door and made his way inside. Who did it this time? I looked down in embarrassment. Bob and his parents, they said I was an imposter who was hell-bent on destroying and profiting off of your family. Some of the people around us agreed, while some snickered at the comment. All this time, I've stopped myself from going out of bounds just because you begged me not to lose my cool, Dev. I hope you know I won't be stopping or holding back this time. I am going to give them what they deserve. I held his hand and looked up at him. I won't stop you, Dad. But couldn't you make them understand in a better way? What difference would it make if I hurt someone as well? There is no other way that I can see, son. No, Dad, I'm sure there are. You taught me the phrase, a tooth for a tooth, didn't you? They use their words to hurt me, so it is only fair you give it back to them the same way. Dad goes into deep thought as he scratches his beard. I think I know what I'm going to do, and I'm sure my son will like it. A few days later, I was informed that the principal was looking for me, so I excused myself and went to his office. I was surprised to see Dad sitting on the sofa, sipping on his black coffee. But what shocked me more was the look of submission that my principal had, as he was the same man who had authority yet still did not protect Devin. Hey, honey, we were just talking about Devin. Come and have a seat. Dad patted on an empty spot next to him. Principal, sir, won't you continue? You should fill her in on what we discussed. I looked at Dad a little suspiciously, but shrugged it off. With whatever he had in his mind, I'm sure we were going to have a great time. I'll be leaving for work now. I trust you with giving my daughter the complete information. Dad pointed at my principal. After he was gone, the principal explained everything down to the T. One thing about me is that I'm a carbon copy of my father, which meant that I inherited his temper and confidence as well. Whenever he mentioned Devin, my eyes filled with anger and hatred. The principal could very well see this, and his voice would become even more polite. When he was done, I took my leave and went to the bathroom. That was so cool. You're just flattering me now. No, Dad, I am serious. That bald scum knew about Devin's situation. I thought you knew. That is probably why he looked so guilty. Anyway, did you like my idea? It's generic, I know, but it's a first for me. You know that I'm not a kill them with kindness kind of person. Of course, and I'm so proud of being your daughter. Don't tell Mom. And Devin, of course. I want it to be a surprise for them. Fine by me. So, what is my role in this? Sharing the whole thing on your social media. Tell your friends to do it too, so that we reach vast majority of masses. Make it a, what do you kids say, viral sensation? Sure thing, Dad. Good. Now go back to your class. I know you are skipping it currently. I sent him a sad-faced emoticon and switched my phone to silent mode. I could not concentrate for the rest of the day, eagerly waiting for the weekend to come and the show to begin. The passes are being distributed for the event. Where are you? Should I get your pass as well? No, that would not be necessary. I am going to skip the event. What? Am I going to do there alone? You have your parents and, well, other friends. Wow, dude, what an amazing best friend. I have prior commitments, Dana. It's because of the students, isn't it? You don't have to worry. I will be by your side at all times. I already can't stand the children. Imagine their parents. I am doing them and myself a favor by not coming to the event. You guys have fun. I put my phone back in my pocket and admire the scenery before me. Whenever I had a hard time, I would come here. It was the place where I had my first outing with my family. People don't often frequent the place, which makes it a perfect spot to spend time and gather your thoughts. The rustling of leaves always calms my mind. The world around me seems to pause for a moment when I close my eyes. I wondered how life would have turned out if I was my parents' own child, related by blood. The people who have the nerves to mock me today because of it wouldn't even dare to do the same if that was the case. Why was I treated worse than animals? Why was there such a stigma attached to children like me? So what if we're not blood related? They are still the family I love and cherish. I could sacrifice anything for them, and I doubt they wouldn't do the same for me. Why doesn't the society appreciate this and just let me live as I am? Few days later, I don't want to go. Dad picked me up and put me in the car, attaching my seatbelt on. Luna was laughing at me while Mom was clicking pictures. For Christmas cards, she said, and winked at me. I was dragged to the event unwillingly because Luna was going to perform, and according to Dad, a family should support others in their well and worse. Good thought, but certainly not the correct situation. The costume is in good condition, right? Mom asked Luna. Yes, Mom, Luna said while looking at Dad, who in turn was looking at her through the rearview mirror. Luna gave him a subtle thumbs up, which caused me to raise my eyebrow in suspicion. When we reach, Dad parks and we all get down. I instantly regret looking up. The parents around us showed hostility because the Ray family had a black sheep amongst them. Some of them were jealous because they wanted to establish business connections with my family, but they had an obstacle: me. I shouldn't even be aware of such things at this age, so one can imagine how tough it was to be in my shoes. The three of us take a seat, and Luna disappears, presumably joining her group. I feel something in my stomach and excuse myself to go to the washroom. After doing my business, I walk out of the stall and wash my hands. "Oh, look, Stuart Little is here with his owners," some boy says, and his friends laugh. They keep hurling insults at me whilst mocking my connection to my family. Pushing them away, I run out, and instead of going to hall, I sit on a bench outside the school. I always hate it when they bring my family into this. "Where are you? Why aren't you in your seat? Mom and Dad are asking for you." Do I really have to be there? I am sorry that I won't be able to cheer for you when you perform, but I am not in the mood for anything right now. Whoa, hey, get your butt back here. You won't cower away now. You will confidently face them and answer back. I don't want to. Do you need me to drag you inside? I'll bring my friends too. Please no. People will have a new thing to put in their Torment Devon list. Why are you so determined to bring me inside? What are you and Dad planning? How do you know? I saw you both being sneaky during the ride. Be honest with me, Luna. Why am I actually here? And what is going to happen? Okay, here goes nothing. Dad has organized a speech. What? He has prepared it himself. Trust me, brother. Dad has tried his best to make it simple but powerful. He worked on it non-stop and kept you in his thoughts constantly so that he could deliver your pain through his words. He doesn't think that I am mortifying our family by bringing ill wishes frequently. Not at all. He never had that impression. In fact, he thought the world of you. And Mom? Is that even a question to ask? She still thinks that you are her baby and coddles you more than me. Anyway, come quick. Dad's speech is about to begin. Be there in a minute. When I enter the hall, I saw Dad standing on the stage with a microphone and a paper. The strongest man I've ever seen in my life was sweating nervously on the stage. He looked around, and when his eyes landed on me, he gave me a confident and reassuring smile. Good afternoon, everyone. I, John Ray, am the proud father of Devon Ray. Luna and Mom cheered so loudly for him that they had to be calmed down by the principal. I am sure most of you might be aware who he is. The reason of my claim is because your wards have attacked him, one way or other, just because of his family situation and his blood relation to us. Why? Because he doesn't fit your standards? Or is it because you are insecure? Who are you and your children to decide whether he deserves to be my son or not? What right do you have to degrade him to a mere thing when he is actually a wonderful person? I want to point out the hypocrisy. You, who embarrass my son for not being our biological child, are the same people who would shower their love and money on a pet. Does my son have no value before your pet? What makes him inferior to literal animals? I would like to tell you a story of how God guided me toward my son. It was a miracle that I met him. The moment his little hands grabbed my finger, I knew we were destined to be a family. The first time he opened his eyes was when I was on an important video call. Call it a blessing or what you may, but I successfully bagged the deal that day. It was one of the most important business deal. Do you know the first word he spoke? It was Dada. My happiness knew no bounds when he said that while laughing at me. There are some things that only a dad and son can enjoy together, and I was fortunate enough to have experienced them. My wife had complications while conceiving our daughter. We wondered if we could have other children. Devin was God's gift to us, and I am thankful for this every day. Listening to this makes you think that he is a normal person, like you and me, right? I want to ask a question to the children. Who here has ever tried to get to know Devin on a personal level, for friendship, or just for the sake of knowing him? I looked around and only saw one hand raised. It was Dana. Dad smiled and continued. Thank you, little one. Thank you for treating him well and befriending him for who he is. A hypothetical situation. What would you do if you were in an apocalypse and only my son could save you? Would you be willing to save yourself or risk getting in danger just because of your preconceived idea? No parent would tolerate their child being bullied and hurt. How do you think it makes me and my wife feel? Devin's sister Luna also does not appreciate this. She controls herself from resorting to extreme measures just because Devin stops her from doing so. This is not a threat or a warning. This is a cry from a father. A father who is desperate to protect his child from falling into the arms of the dark side. I had started crying, but it wasn't just me. I could see the other parents sobbing and looking at their children. They seemed to be rethinking their actions. Dad ended his speech with a beautiful quote and got down from the stage. He extended his arms for me, and I ran straight into his embrace. It was the most beautiful day of my life that I shared with my school. A few months later, things had gotten much better for me since Dad's speech. I had received a bunch of apology notes and a few gifts. The perception toward me amongst the students had changed. With this, I wished that the situation would get better for adopted children all over the world as well. Has your vacation started? Yes, Dad. Why? He sent me a picture of a brochure. It was of Italy. As I show it to Luna, she grabs the phone from me and messages Dad. Oh my God, we're going to Italy. We need to shop. Oh, hey, Looney. Where did your brother go? He's beside me, watching over my shoulder at our messages. When are we going? Tomorrow. Pack your bags while I inform Mom. Me and Luna record a voice note and send it to Dad. The recording said, "We love you, Dad." Love you too, my angels.